Good morning, everybody. We will still wait for people to connect, but we can open now this event, the Proposers Brokerage Day from the CELTIC-NEXT Spring Call 2024. You have the agenda in front of you, shared on your screen. We will have a first welcome at 30. Then we will have an introduction to CELTIC-NEXT and its SRIA, done by myself. Then a question and answers session from 10:25 to 10:30, very short. I encourage you to put your questions in the chat section. But during the Q&A session, you will be offered the possibility to speak as well. Then will come presentation on what is a good proposal and how to submit it through my colleague Christian Reinsch. Then we will have several national public authorities that will explain what are the conditions in their respective country and what we expect also possibly as topics. We have 9 countries presenting, but this list is not exhaustive. It's just because of time restrictions. We can't have all countries that are supporting displaying their conditions, so there will be more on the website. Then we have a Q&A session after their session, a lunch break, and in the afternoon, my colleague Christian Reinsch will again take the floor and present you the different pitches. We have 15 pitches, if I remember well, that will be presented by their authors. And then we will have an exchange time, and we will close this call. Cluster. So Eureka is a intergovernmental association of countries in a network of 47 countries now, who are the same target, which is to collaborate and enable innovation between the different countries of the network. So there's a program, the ECP, European Eureka Clusters program, where 5 clusters are represented, and we are one of those 5 clusters. So we have the clusters who is the world industry-driven, the largest industry-driven cluster on information and communication technologies. We are not for profit, and we involve all the major ICT industry players, service providers, many SMEs, and research institutions and academia. And we target to enable a secure, trusted, and sustainable digital society. These KPIs could be updated now because we are 2.5 years after we counted them. But we have achieved, since the beginning of CELTIC, which was starting in 2003, more than 176 projects, 1.2 billion joint investment, and all the KPIs that you have under your eyes. It's an important program, and the interesting part of it is that it's an international collaborative program, which is still following national priorities. So with a difference from other programs that you might know, it's not top-down, but it's bottom-up. That means that any project that has let's say good impact, that is innovating and is targeting excellence, has a chance to be funded, and there's no numerous clauses of projects that can be funded in terms of the same subject, for example, in the roadmap. It really depends on the excellence of a proposal. So as said, we are under the umbrella of Eureka, and we are focused on next generation communications for the digital society. It's a flexible and agile community. This term of community is very important because you will see it in the next slides. We are driven by a group of large industry players and RTOs. but they are just the top of the iceberg, representing the more than 1,100 private and public organizations who have already collaborated within CELTIC-NEXT cluster, and therefore we are more speaking about the community. So we organize regular calls for projects like this one here for spring, but we have also a call in autumn, and we also support larger flagship calls. I will come back a little bit about this later on. We are financed through public and private funding through the transnational RD&I cooperation, and we are open to any organization willing to contribute to the industry-driven European and beyond ICT research program. So what is the mission from CELTIC-NEXT as a cluster? It is, it is to foster our Eureka collaborative R&D program for the ICT community, but also for the verticals that are served by ICT technologies. We accelerate the deployment and the uptake of advanced ICT services. It's very important. We are near to the market, so we are not fundamental research looking at financing fundamental research, but we are looking at applied research and in most of cases near to market development. We employ the target is to employ the new network concepts of 5G and beyond, and lead to the innovation, ownership, and implementation of the new 6G in the Eureka countries. Here there's a kind of neologism. We don't speak anymore about European, but Eurecan manufacturers and countries, because the network which started in Europe, within Europe, has now been extended. And for example, the new chairmanship of Eureka will be starting on the 1st of July, and it will be a joint chairmanship between Germany in Europe and Canada. So the importance of CELTIC is because it's crucial to consolidate the position of European manufacturers and service providers and European countries' sovereignty. We have a strong ambition to assist European national authorities, European industry, European societies, and make them access to societal benefits, competitive advantages, commercial returns of being at the forefront of the new digital era of the society, or for the society. So it's very important to keep that in mind in what we are targeting here. So what we do, we manage an international quality label. So it's important to understand we are not providing the funding ourselves. We are providing a label that helps you to get the funding from the different national authorities that are involved in your project. This enables international consortia to apply more successfully, as said, and also to assemble national funding into an international cooperative innovation consortium, for example. So we are organizing bottom-up calls, like this one. We are organizing flagship projects and open calls, and we are also participating when there is one where we can be involved in the Eureka ECP, so Eureka Clusters program, joint calls with the other clusters. I spoke about the community, and here it's a bit of the depiction of it. So we have the so-called core group. In the core group, you have these big names that you can see here. It is important to say that they are helping us, or they are driving a roadmap, our SRIA, that I will explain a little bit better after. But it's the top of the iceberg of our community members. So anyone who has a good idea and who wants to contribute to the SRIA is welcome to contact us and give us their opinion, what should be in and so on in the future years. So there's a document that you can download from our website, which contains this mission, vision, and roadmap, which is in other ways called SRIA. So we are not isolated, even if we have a big, let's say, community where we could say, okay, we can just rely on our community, but we are also discussing with external organizations. Under those stakeholders, you have, of course, the national public authorities who are telling us what their countries are looking for, innovations in what fields and so on. And some of them will explain you in their session what they are looking for. but we are also collaborating with two other organizations now, with the European Space Agency and with the CGIA, so the CG association, so who is part of the SNSGU for those of you who know the European Commission's programs. So why we are collaborating with them? It's because we exchange knowledge with them. We do cross contributions in our respective SRIAs. We try to help companies, RTOs, and so on to leverage the funding schemes across the different technology readiness levels and the topics. Some of those organizations are, let's say, funding lower TRLs. We are more near to the market. So we are complementary, and it's important to have a continuity, let's say, of moving from research to innovation to market. So it's important to collaborate together. We are also looking at aligning our calls timing, whereby it's not always easy to do that. We have another easier pipelining of proposals also for the participants who are working with the different organizations. We look at go from research to market, as already said, help early adopters also, kind of leverage on test beds. And then what we try to do is to offer innovative entities the full panel between top-down programs and bottom-up spaces where for their collaborative projects. So this is about where we sit. The roadmap could be depicted like on the left side, meaning with ICT technologies as such, where you see also the core group members being active. This is not exhaustive, of course. You should refer to the document itself. It's more explained in the document. And then also fields of application that are supported through those ICT technologies. It's also not exhaustive here, but it's a good, let's say, set of fields of applications that are recognized as very important for the time being and for the midterm. So these are, let's say, the topics that are covered by the SRIA from CELTIC, but as we are bottom-up, it doesn't mean that you need to be only in those fields. With your proposals, we are welcoming excellence. So that means that if you have an excellent proposal in a field that is not described here, so a field of application not described, or a brand new technology like in the new 6G fields that would be, let's say, benefiting from support from CELTIC, then you are welcome to make your proposal also, because we will look at it in the same way. We just give with this SRI an indication where we think things should go, but of course we are open and in the bottom-up way. In 2024, we have some additional focus that have been discussed with different entities, and including and very importantly the public authorities. So non-terrestrial networks and terrestrial networks convergence, digitalization of the economy, and so on. So I will come back to that when I will speak about the SRIA itself, but these are, let's say, topics that are more acute right now, and national calls might be open for those topics, which is important for your proposal to get funded. Our DNA, again, we are bottom-up. That means that you as proposers are free to define your project proposal according to your own research interests. So we are not prescribing what we want, how many projects in what field, and so on. And like other programs, you really go to us with your open mind and your proposal, what is of interest for you. And we try to match it with funding and see if we can help to get it funded. We are close to the market, so projects have so far brought more than 1,500 new or improved products and services. It's even more now, of course, because we have run 2.5, 3 years more of a program. Close to the market means also that if you look at a project of 3 years, we expect that again 3 years after the end of this project, having been funded by the public authorities within the CELTIC framework, that you will have part or big parts or good parts of this project in products that will come to the market 3 years after the end of this project. So if you take T0 start of a project, in 6 years, we should see commercialization of things that were developed thanks to the funding in CELTIC project. We have a high success rate, so it is not based on the numerous clauses per topic. So the good thing is, if your project is excellent in terms of impact, innovation, so difference with the state of the art, impact in commercial terms, but on societal topics and so on. And the national public authorities have the funding corresponding, then you will be funded. So, so there's a very good proportion of the success rate, around 50–60%. It depends on the call, the year, but around 60%. It's the label and then funded. So the flexibility, project focus can be adjusted to new technological developments in the field. That means you make the proposal, it gets labeled, you are starting the project, and during the project life, it is always possible, because if you recognize there's a change in technology, there's something new that you would be able to try out, or you would like to try out in the project and so on, we can help you adapt the project, and with a process that we call project change request, you tell us what you would like to do. You write how you want to do it. We check if it's viable, like your original proposal. And then if we agree with that, you can continue the project on the new basis. So this applies also to problems during the project, like, for example, Barner gets bankrupt. You need to replace him, or you need to rework the project to remove what we were doing. So this is also possible through this PCR process or mechanism. I won't go and read all of those advantages, but you get a recognized label, internationally, globally recognized label. You get professional coaching and mentoring. There's an easy access for SMEs and so on. So I won't read all of those columns, but I encourage you to do it after this call, because we will provide the slides and also the videos. It is a unique setup, so you get much more than just funding. You can really get many chances to be facing big industry with your SME, or as an RTO have a commercialization track to the industry. So they are really completely open innovation landscapes within CELTIC, and we help there. So as said, opportunities to collaborate globally. So the network of the Eureka countries is large, 47 countries. Not all countries are supporting the clusters, and not all countries are supporting CELTIC within the clusters, but we have a good base. And the main important point here is, if you think that your proposal needs a certain country, please involve this country representatives. They are on our website. You can see it's a screenshot from our website. You click on the name of the country, you will have the coordinates of the details of the contact for this country, and they can give you indication if they support you in this call. Those ones who are presenting today, of course, the support. We have other countries supporting, but they were not able to present, or we don't have the time to have all of them presenting. So you can also contact us, and we will give you information about who can help you. The network is enlarging every year. So we have Chile now in the network, and there are other countries who are now checked to join the network of the countries in Eureka. So it's also a good opportunity not only to collaborate within Europe, but also outside of Europe. You can see South Africa. We have very good projects with South Africa. We have Singapore. We have South Korea, very important. South Korea, very active in the network and with us. Canada, and specifically Canada will also drive Eureka together with Germany starting on the 1st of July. So projects with Canada are very much welcomed and they will be very well supported. So the timelines, as said, we have 2 bottom-up calls per year. So one in spring, one in autumn. We are in the spring one. You can see we are today on this yellow marked date. The deadline of for the proposal for this call is on the 3rd of May, and labels notification will be end of June. So you have a process, how it works. You can go on our website and click on each of those boxes, and there's a short explanation and possibly bringing you to another page of the website to give you more explanations on those ones. So this is the process, as said. What we expect in terms of size of a project in this call, since it's a bottom-up call here, we would expect between 4 and 15 participants from types of large industry players, SMEs, research type organizations, academia, public bodies, ideally led by industry, because we are in an industry cluster, but we have some projects that are led more by an RTO or by a university, but with a strong industry participation. So it has to be strongly industry driven, even if a lead is not industry. What are the number of countries we would expect? 3 to 7, it's recommended. And it has to be strictly more than 2 Eureka countries, because you can set up with 2, but the problem is one country is not funding, your project is cancelled. So the best is to have starting with 3 countries, so that you have a remediation plan with the 2 remaining countries if one is not funding your project. Then the market and technology value chains. So we expect full end-to-end technology value chains to demonstrate the full end-to-end services. We want also the full market value chain, because we think since it's near to the market, the end customer should be involved. So at least collecting information from the end customer, but the best is to have an end customer in the project. So if you do a health project, for example, having a hospital or whoever is the B2B end customer in your project is very important. The budget should be between 3 and 15 million euro, typical. Please don't make small projects like 1 million. Ideally, starting with 3 million is a good point. Duration between 24 and 48 months, 36 months, sorry, are a typical value, because you need to start the project, to develop the stuff, to test it, to make demonstration, and so on. So a too short project will not get funded, probably. The minimum we usually ask is 24, but we really target 36 months projects. Just because I raised the, let's say, the flagship before, so we do also larger projects, but this is not on a regular base, meaning there's a project per year. There are big projects. They are started with a core group of countries and industrial players discussing together a joint thematic, and then the project is grown by sub-projects and an umbrella project. This is a different mechanism as this call. There are 2 in preparation right now, and typically there are from 50 to 90 participants structured in 3 to 4 sub-projects, having common working groups or an umbrella project. And the same type of organizations, the number of countries is higher, from 5 to 10. And of course, strictly more than 2, but anyway, as a flagship, it cannot be 2 or 3, it has to be more. Same requirements about the market and technology value chains. but then the budget and duration are a bit different. We look here at 50 to 75 million joint investment and 36 to 48 months, and this is historical data. Okay, our community is active, so this was the result of the bottom-up call 2023. We are now in the bottom-up call spring call 2024. Again, 3rd of May as a deadline for your proposals. Leveling happenings within the so there are 6 weeks of evaluation, and then we have a meeting with the public authorities, our experts, and our core group, and we decide if we give the label or not. The AINet flagship is ending in July, and we are now preparing the next one. And we have a 3-dimensional networking flagship, which is in preparation, but this will be coming later. Both deadlines set, so project evaluation during May-June 2024, but project start ideally from September 2024. Usually it takes a little bit more time to do that, but okay. In best case, we think that September 2024 could work. We have a very important point here in red. Always contact your public authorities in the respective countries of your consortium, because they are the people who can help you with the indications on in which of the national schemes, national calls, you will be able to apply once you have a label, or even before you get the label, so that you can get the funding to start the project effectively. So they will give you the conditions and so on. So they are some of them are giving you now in this event now, but the other ones that are not presenting today, they will give you directly over your contact to them. And if you have even more questions and details needs, please contact also the ones who will present today. So it's even the first step to go is to contact your public authorities, ask for their coaching in terms of conditions, when, how, what they expect in your proposal. They will help you. They are really people, specialists, experts in helping innovation to be funded. So that's their target. It's not to say no, it's to help you to get a yes in the fund. So they will always help you to make the best possible application. So please contact them. So here we also have those different events. Due to COVID, we had stopped having those big physical events, but there will be one event in this summer, again in physical presence, in terms of annual event. This will be in Berlin at the CG conference. We are preparing it with the CG conference organization. And this will be a big event because it will be also the anniversary of CELTIC for its 21 years of existence. Speaking about flagships, less of the topic of today, but to show also that CELTIC is a large community, successful one. It has driven a lot of investment jointly from public and private sectors. So you had SASA in the past, you see the KPIs here. Send date, currently we are working on AINet, finishing AINet. It was, this is old data, but normally you will have much more results from AINet. I mean, this slide here, it's very impactful. So flagships are very impactful. So today we are running this brokerage day. We don't have, because we have this big event in July in Berlin. We haven't made a physical proposers day for today, but therefore we don't have those keynote speakers today. We will have during the CG conference / CELTIC-NEXT anniversary keynotes. So, but today we have the presentation of the public authorities and the pitching session, and then the brokerage and networking after. So I think you are connected also because you are interested in participating, so that you what is the takeaway from this year is that you get a recognized international level to your innovations. You are not restricted or restrained to a specific limit to your innovation project. It's bottom-up versus the top-down approach of many other programs. You get a larger visibility for the collaboration. We help you also in the dissemination. Gain commercialization channels inherently to the fact that you are working with the different countries and with the different partners. You accelerate your time to market because the target really of the funding of CELTIC projects is to help you to move from lower TRLs to the commercialization. Not the 8-9 TRL level, but moving from your TRL 4 or 5 to at least 7 at the end of your project, or something like 7 at the end of a project, and then collaborate easily outside of Europe, which is a very important thing as well. And we see very successful projects in collaboration with Canada, South Africa, South Korea. So it's a very interesting way. And it's easier than in our programs. So that was for what is CELTIC, and I will jump immediately to the SRIA and the topics.